What's up? Juno here. And I apologize for the lighting. It's kind of bad right now because I haven't moved my other light in my bedroom here. So I've moved to a new place and I still got to figure out where to situate things. But anyway, I want to talk about something that's been in the news, at least in my state especially, because it's just been a clusterfuck and a half. Now, if you have watched national news or international news, if you're out of the country, in the state of California, there has been kind of a manhunt going on for almost a week now about a guy named Christopher Dorner. And what he is an ex-LAPD officer who was kicked off the force due to some sort of administrative, he tried to whistleblow or witness something and he tried to call it out and it ended up getting him fired, which is unfortunate in my opinion. And because of that, he's kind of been going around being a vigilante. He's killed at least 4 to 5 people, maybe more. 2 of those people were completely unrelated to law enforcement. And it's just kind of a sad situation. Like, the first 2 people he killed was a young woman and her fiance in Orange County. And then I believe he's killed either 3 or 4 police officers or sheriffs or something like that. Which is not good, and I don't think this is the way to try and expose corruption. But what's interesting about him is that he released some sort of manifesto, and he's been kind of on the lam up into today, as far as I can tell. And something that has really pissed me off is the news coverage and the events leading up to this. Now, once it was found out that he had killed this couple, and then I guess another police officer, the Los Angeles Police Department has freaked out. And the first instance of just freaking out was in the early hours of, I believe it was Thursday of last week. They put out the description of his vehicle that he was traveling in. It was a silver Nissan Titan, which is a pickup truck. But in the early hours of the morning on Thursday, there was a pickup truck that was a completely different brand and a completely different color. It was a blue Toyota Tacoma, which is a smaller pickup truck, and apparently 2 women were driving it, and they shot up the truck. They just shot it up. They unloaded I think 20, 30 bullets into it. Fortunately, they didn't kill the 2 women that were in that truck, but they were delivering newspapers. They weren't any way related to this. And it's like, how much, if you're a police officer, how badly do you have to fuck up to get, firstly, the make wrong, the color wrong, the model wrong, and even the people that are in the car wrong? You're looking for a 270-pound, fairly built black guy, and this truck was filled with 2 women. That's a major fuck up. Now, over the weekend, I read another story of another guy who was rammed off the road. He was driving in a black Nissan Titan, and they still hadn't found where he had gone. Well, what had happened was the Chris Dorner had, I guess, fled to a mountainous area called Big Bear, which is a popular skiing destination for a lot of people in various states, whether they be in California or Nevada or Arizona. It's pretty centrally located to all of them. And this other guy, they ran him off the road. They rammed his car, and I believe they also shot at him as well, and he sustained injuries and stuff like that. His truck was totaled, and I just, how can you mistake it? He was also a small white guy. He weighed about 100 pounds less than this Chris Dorner guy, and now, they're just causing havoc. And up to today, Tuesday, well, at the time of filming this, I've been following the news on this, and it seems like no one can get their story straight. And the LAPD, I guess, put a bounty on his head saying, if you have a credible tip and if it ends up paying off, then you would get $1 million reward. Well, because they opened the floodgates to that sort of speculation, apparently they got over 600 tips in a matter of days or a couple of days or some shit like that. And I think that was a stupid thing to do. Now, one of the news reports I heard was that he had actually gone to San Diego and tried to steal a boat and take the boat into Mexico. Turns out, as far as what I can tell in the news coverage, that he never actually left Big Bear. He stayed in Big Bear even though it's a small community, and supposedly the police and the I guess even federal agents were up there combing the area, going door to door, searching houses. They've been stopping cars, searching cars, stuff like that. It's just been insane, and somehow they missed it. And he crashed his truck up off a fire road up in Big Bear, and it was either intentionally set on fire or caught on fire due to the wreck that had happened. Because I guess he had, the axle had fallen off or something like that. So maybe it hit the fuel tank and maybe it went up in flames. Who knows? But there's still more information coming up. But today, supposedly, he was up in a house and he had stolen another car and he had taken 2 women hostage. And even before that, I guess he had encountered some park rangers and had shot at them. Luckily, he didn't kill either of them. But I've just been following this, and I just can't believe the sloppiness of the coverage, whether it be from the news organizations or from the police departments, various police departments, sheriff's departments, and government agencies. Now, one thing that really pissed me off about this was he was in a way a whistleblower. And I think if someone, especially in an organization as large as a police force in a major metropolitan area, there can be a sense of cronyism, or you look out for each other. And I have a feeling that he was going to or trying to expose the bullshit that the LAPD does. Now, something that really pissed me off today was as I was listening to a radio show called The Tom Leykis Show, who's one of my favorite radio personalities, and luckily he's back doing his radio show after a 3-year hiatus, but he's doing it on the internet now, so it's completely uncensored. And they were kind of following it live and watching the news and playing the news over the show and having people call in completely uncensored. Now, there were 3 things that the various sheriff's department or police departments tried to do. The first thing was they told the FAA to not allow any air travel or helicopters over the area. Then they also wanted the news media to pull back their coverage. Then they also said that they wanted people to stop tweeting about it. This is a big deal. They're trying to cover up what they're trying to do, at least in my opinion. Now, I'm not trying to sound conspiratorial about this, but it sounds like they're about to do something that isn't so on the up and up to me. At least that's what it sounds like. And that's kind of fucked up in my opinion. We in this day and age where there's cameras everywhere. I mean, I've got a camera here. I mean, in an average day, I walk around with my phone and my iPad, and I can film anything, and each of them have 2 cameras in it. It's amazing, and how quickly stuff can get out there. I have a feeling that there was some crookedness going on here. I mean, I'm not a law enforcement officer. I'm not a lawyer. I'm nothing like that. I'm not a judge. I'm nothing of that sort. But, just the reaction of the law enforcement agencies is just insane. Now, I understand he's killed a couple of police officers. That's fucked up. I'm not trying to sit here and praise him for going around shooting people. No, that's disgusting and vile, and he should not be doing that. There are other ways to expose the issues of a police department or whatever organization than to go around killing people. That's just going to turn you into a criminal and get you into deeper shit, either thrown in jail for the rest of your life or killed by the police. That's just what's going to happen. That's the reality of things. I just think it's fucked up. But it's just been a media circus. And then later in the evening, some of the news coverage was saying that apparently a body had been found in the house, but yet there was other reports coming from other news organizations that were saying, no one has been able to get into the house because the house, either he set it on fire intentionally or the police set it on fire. Someone set this goddamn house that he was supposedly camping in on fire. And even in regards to that, there's also rumors that he escaped on horseback, or he stole another car, or he stole a police car. I couldn't believe it. This is the worst media coverage I've seen of an event ever, I think. Ever. This is one person. You've got hundreds, if not thousands, of law enforcement people trying to pin this guy down. If one guy can slip by all these people, all these law enforcement officers, you're doing your job wrong. One person against hundreds, or maybe even 1,000 people, You have a mismanagement problem here. You suck at your job. You just do. But it's something that has just been kind of, I just can't believe it. This is one of the reasons why I personally have stopped watching news. It's been, let's see, when did I stop watching the news? It's been about 7 years since I've actually sat down and paid attention and watched news regularly. I just don't do it anymore. I'd rather read my news, but even then, as it's been proven today, it's not entirely accurate. It's just ridiculous. But I think the biggest thing that pissed me off was having the law enforcement agencies say, stop talking about this, stop talking about this. It's like, no, we're going to talk about this, and you're going to shut the fuck up about it. And another thing they did too, which I thought was very slimy of them, is they also turned off their online radio feed of radio transmissions in the area. Why can't people listen to scanners? It's perfectly legal. I don't see what the problem is. What are you trying to cover up? And actually, supposedly there's a video floating around out there, and if I can find it, I'll try and post a link to it, of him saying, we're going to burn this fucker down, one of the police officers. And I also heard another video of that was played on the Tom Likas show that just, you could hear the amount of ammo they were unloading into this goddamn house, and it sounded like a war zone. And it's like, this is a peaceful mountain community with maybe a couple hundred houses, nothing like, a metropolis like LA or New York or San Francisco, any place like that. It's a tiny little mountainous area that's a fairly high elevation too, so it's not like this is a major city or anything like that. But it's just been a clusterfuck and a half, in my opinion. But what do you think? Have you been following this story? What sort of opinion do you have? Do you think he's a hero? Or do you think he's a scumbag? Do you think he's somewhere in the middle? Do you think the police are being the scumbag? I'd love to hear about it in the comments or a video response, whatever. And actually, something that was interesting today was I was watching my Twitter feed, and I saw a quote, I think it was from CNN Breaking News, and it said something to the effect of, end the bloodshed now. Well, in my response to that, and if you follow me on Twitter, you may have seen it, was, well, if you want to stop the bloodshed now, maybe you should stop shooting innocent people. Because that's exactly what the Los Angeles Police Department has been doing, is they've been shooting innocent people for mistaken identity. Are you fucking blind? Shooting two ladies in a blue truck and shooting a white guy in a black truck? Running them off the road? Who's fucking wrong here? It's obviously not them. They're going about their day. Can you not see? You shouldn't be a police officer then, in my opinion. Fucking hell. This has been a media circus, and I hope there's some sort of resolution to it, but who knows? He could have escaped again, for all I know. There is no clear, distinction of what's going on here, as far as I can see. It's still going on, but who knows? Maybe it'll get even worse. I don't know. They're not making their image look better, in my opinion. But anyway, do your part. Blaspheme daily.